we focus on the capacity building of the youth or awareness raising of the youth, so they know what their rights are, and so maybe tomorrow they would be able to take part in the policy making of the government and other procedures. Okay, because we were focusing on information to the youth through the use of ICTs. Because nowadays, internet is the major source of information, and responsible use of internet is really important, because even in the areas of Pakistan that we do have the internet, what is the use that the youth use it for, or do they have any use of it? People need to know what they have to do with the internet. Just, I mean, where there is absolutely no internet, that's different. There we need to introduce it. But in some areas where there is the internet, they are not having any positive use of it. They probably use it to watch movies or sites that are restricted, porn sites maybe, and they get involved in all sort of destructive activities. So they really need to know about what responsible use of internet is. It is the access to information nowadays, because of the great high-tech culture that we have throughout the globe, and developing countries are deprived of that, pretty much deprived of all the IT and information technology. They don't know anything about the new tools, new technologies, or the emerging technologies. And if you do introduce those sorts of applications or tools to them, they would not know how to use it properly, or it's not of any good to them. Okay, but we are at the very initial level of awareness raising. So what we did is, at the very initial step, we are forming groups on the university level and at the college level. We haven't focused schools yet. We're planning to in future, hopefully. But so far, we've formed groups with the University of Southern Punjab and of the colleges of Multan city, and we go there to them. We have reflect circles with them, which is sort of like an informal talk with them, and we ask them first about their opinion about what they think is. We start from basically from right, what is a right to them, and then we go on to what different types of rights they think they have, and then we sort of give our input about what they think of these issues. And then we go on and on to different issues.
What kind of responses have you gotten from those particular questions?
Okay, well, these days, looking at the situation of Pakistan, mostly we get responses on the political crisis that is going on in Pakistan. So, well, the youth are more concerned about the education system and the unemployment, which is pretty much it is very much, how do you say, clearly seen everywhere in Pakistan. So they talk about the inflation rates and the general political situation and the lack of leadership. So basically this program is eventually going to lead them to political activation. So they stand up for their rights. And we have sort of a preparation of second-line leadership, because this is what the feedback we got from the people, that we have the same trait of rulers or leaders again and again who have proven to be corrupt. And maybe this way we can get new emerging leaders out in the open, so they would take part actively in politics and in decision making.
As far as the rights that they believe that they have, or those kind of...
Or they don't have.
Or they don't have, or what kind of responses do you get on that?
Oh, really sort of frustrated and angry responses, because we don't have the culture of dialogue or discussions at all in our universities or colleges, and even if we do, it might be completely monitored by the administration or the administrative staff. So when we as rights activists or youth activists approach them, it is quite difficult. I come from a remote area, and luckily I'm one of the lucky ones who have access to the internet. And through this internet, I got in contact with many international organizations who work for the similar agenda as we do. And we got in touch with many youth organizations that promote youth entrepreneurship, and they promote youth rights or youth health. So it was then easier for me to connect people with other organizations. I went to one of the university meetings and I was telling them about me, that I'm going to the IGF, and they wanted to know more about it. And luckily, I would be able to answer your question really well, because they did ask me about how internet governance is going to affect them. We were having this meeting in a computer lab of the university campus, and most of them those university students in that particular group were using internet, and they were asking me about the scholarships. And I gave them the example. Let's say in your campus tomorrow we have this legislation in Pakistan that you cannot view any site from over the globe, only the sites in Pakistan. Would you accept that? And they said, well, maybe not. I said, definitely not. And they had different opinions, and most of them were like shocked at this example, that what if, because we have this, in Pakistan you can block internet. So tomorrow, if we have to face such a situation, what are the internet users going to do? What are the youth of the universities who do use internet, what are they going to do? So they should have some part in the ICT policies that are taking place in our country. And the legislation, like we have the electronic crime bill in Pakistan, and I have been actively involved in the amendments that are going on, and I've been giving feedback and recommendations along with our other friends from the civil society. And I think it would be very important to put youth as or consult youth regards policy making, because they are the major people who are using the internet. I know it would be sort of controversial to say that older people are not that much knowledgeable about internet, but the youth are more into this use of internet. And I think, as it is everywhere in the world, the same is in Pakistan. Major population that uses the internet are between, let's say, 15 to 30 years of age. So I explained to them, and they even agreed with me, is it not reasonable to include them as the major stakeholders in the consultative meetings that go on in the government, so they also know about what they are going to face tomorrow if we have stupid legislation about any internet policy? It would be really shocking, because after the state of emergency in Pakistan, my connection was like, I would not say blocked, but I could not connect for 3 days, and it was really, really frustrating, because like you totally feel isolated and disconnected and sort of abandoned, because nowadays it is the most convenient and the fastest, not just access to information, but the form of communication. So I would be personally in a state of shock if